Hello and welcome to this video tutorial brought to you by tutvid.com. Today we're going to take a look at setting up the free and easy to use LightBox 2 script. LightBox is a very cool, simple image/photo gallery you can use on your website. Now it is really cool, it's really easy to set up, it's free, and it's good. It's a really good gallery. So anytime you can combine something that's easy to set up, free, and good, you typically get something that's great, and that's exactly what LightBox 2 is. It is a great little bit of code that you can implement in all kinds of different websites. Basically, when you click an image, you get a larger version of the image, and the rest of the screen darkens and blacks out a little bit. I'm sure you guys have seen this around. It's a very cool gallery, super easy to set up, so that's what we're going to take a look at doing. The first thing you want to do is I'm going to throw a link over in the description to this video where you can go and download the JavaScript, CSS, and a couple images you need, completely free. Again, just visit that website, and that website is this right here. If you don't see a link and you have gotten hold of this video before I got the link up or whatever, just run a Google search for LightBox 2. It's going to be like the first entry, and this is exactly what you're looking for. You're going to scroll down, and you're going to choose Download LightBox, and right now they're up to version 2.04. Really great. When you download it, you're going to get these three folders, plus there's going to be an index.html file. You can pretty well chuck the index.html file. We're going to set up our own in just a moment. So these are the three folders you want. Let's check out Dreamweaver for a second. Here in Dreamweaver, I've just created a brand new site. You can go up here to Site, New Site, give the site a name, choose a place on your hard drive where you want the site to reside, hit OK. That's all you need to do. You're going to get a completely blank site that looks like this. You can see I've named my site LightBox 2 very appropriately. Now, what I'm going to do is hop back to the desktop. I'm going to grab these three folders, CSS, JS, and images, and I'm going to leave the files as they are. I'm going to drag them down to my taskbar. Dreamweaver is going to pop up, and I'm going to drop them right here in the Files panel. Voila, we have CSS, images, and JavaScript. What I'm going to do now is right-click on this top folder here, the very top folder, right-click, and just hit New File, and I'm going to name this index.html. Now, if you had the index.html file that you downloaded, you could just drag that in as well. This is a blank index.html file. We're going to double-click on this and go to the design view. The first thing I want to do is just throw a title up here at the top. I'm going to call it LightBox 2. And now that we've done that, the next thing I want to do is import my images. So I have an images folder here already, courtesy of the LightBox download. It gave me, give me a second here, there we go. It gave me this images folder. You can create your own, but we have this one right here. So what I'm going to do is hop over to the bridge where I have three thumbnail images and then three larger images that kind of expand upon the thumbnail. You just sort of see the face of the model here in these thumbnails, and then the image is actually going to be the full model. So I'm going to grab all six of these, drag them, and drop them on top of the images folder. There we go. We have all of them in there. 6 images, 3 thumbnails, 3 images. Now what I want to do is go ahead and drag the thumbnail images out onto my document. So I'm going to drag the first one out. It's going to say, hey, would you like to give an alternative text? Under normal circumstances, yeah, you want to give it an alternative text, just a quick description so your website is much more accessible to visually impaired people and people that don't have images enabled for some reason. In this day and age, pretty much everyone has images enabled, but you pretty much always want to give your images alternate text. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to hit enter return once, drag out the next thumbnail, and just ignore that. Enter return another time, drag out the next thumbnail, and there we go, 3 thumbnails. Now, what you want to do with your thumbnails is you just want to link them to the full-size image. That's the first step to making LightBox do its thing. So here we're going to select the first thumbnail. In the Properties panel, we have our link. We're going to grab the Point to File tool, and I'm going to point it to that file. Now, there's a little sort of strange thing happening here I'm going to point out in a moment. We're going to link up our 3 thumbnails to their images here. And there we go. All right, now you may have noticed that all of these images, and this may be something you grapple with on a daily basis working in Dreamweaver, when you link images, starting with, I can't remember if it was Dreamweaver MX 2004 or Dreamweaver 8 or one of those Dreamweavers in and around there. It might have even been CS3. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but when you link images now, as a default, we have this blue border showing up. To get rid of that, just select down here in the Properties panel, there's a little entry for border, fill that in with 0. And do that with each of these 3 images now, just to get rid of that annoying, very annoying border. Okay, so there we go. I'm just going to save my index.html, Control-S. That'd be Command-S if you're on the Mac. All right, so we have our images. We've linked them up. The next step is pasting in a little bit of code in code view. So I'm going to hop over to code view, and we want to focus on this bit of code here between our open head tag and our close head tag. So after my title, and that title is this right up here, Lightbox 2, you can see. After the complete line here, it's line 5 in my case, I'm going to hit enter return. So we're still working within the open and close head tags. Now this is really easy. We're just going to go back to the Lightbox 2 site, and they give you the code, say how to use. This is how you set it up. We're going to grab these three lines of JavaScript, or not, they're not JavaScript, but they're referencing those JavaScript files, and we're going to paste them right in here. So we have those 3 lines. It's actually 4, but the one is just being wrapped because it's quite a long source. So we have our 3 lines of code there. Those go out and get the JavaScript files we need. The next line we want to add is simply, right here, the CSS file. We're basically going to link to an external CSS file. Command-Control V. Now, here's why it's important to keep this file structure with CSS images and JavaScript. Within these JavaScript files, they reference images within an images folder, okay? So don't try to get too smart and like I did the very first time I ever used this and drop the images folder within the JavaScript, because everything is referenced from this index.html file ultimately. So all of the references to the images folder you see if you open up any of these JavaScript files, they're all coming right from this HTML file. So as long as you leave your folder CSS images JavaScript like you downloaded it, you're going to be fine. It's just something to keep yourself from getting into trouble, and I just know that firsthand from what I stupidly did the first time I did this. Okay, so we're referencing the CSS folder, and within the CSS folder, the lightbox.css file. If I open the CSS folder, there is that file that's being referenced, so that's going to be great. Now that we've basically called out and said, hey, yo, files that are sitting in my site, in my folders, when somebody loads this HTML file, you better get yourself over here and get ready to do something. Well, they're here and they're going to be ready to do something. We have to now place a little trigger, if you will, within these images. So right here after the ahref, after we finish referencing the image we're linking to, okay, we've got the close parenthesis, excuse me, or not parenthesis, quote. I don't know why I always mix them up. We want to place a relationship attribute. So that's just rel, and we're going to hit equals, and then open and close quotes. Now, within these open and close quotes, we just type the word Lightbox, and that is going to trigger this thumbnail to launch Lightbox for this image. We're just going to copy and paste this to the next image right here. Alrighty, and to the next image, just that same spot at the end of that ahref line, but still within those angle brackets. So kind of important you get it there. All right, so now that we've done that, let's go back to design view. Nothing's changed. I'm going to save it, Command or Control S, and I'm going to hit F12, which is going to preview it in my browser. Here we go. We have these 3 thumbnails. Great. I'm going to click this one. You can see what it is doing. Look at that. Well, I clicked out in the dark area, so it goes away. But you can see here now, I just re-clicked. I can just scroll up and down. I've got my little close button here, and I can close her out. Let's go to the next one. You can see this, and it readjusts itself. We have our other model. All right, great. And last but not least, this young lady. So, and again, every time we have our little close button that scrolls down. Now, if this is live on the web and we're actually downloading a file, you're going to see a little animated GIF file that is acting as a preloader is going to display until the image is fully loaded. So it really makes you look like you've done a huge amount of work behind the scenes when really it takes mere moments to set this up. I mean, it hasn't even taken me 10 minutes to explain to you how to do it. To do it yourself takes a minute or 2. It takes no time. And once you've done it, it gets even faster. One last thing. I'm sure you've seen these galleries where when you roll over the image, you get next and previous buttons. That's super, super easy to do. Hop back into code view, and what you want to do here in this relationship attribute, right here at the end of Lightbox, before you actually get out of the quote, you just want to place 2 square brackets. And within these square brackets, you want to place a name. This is going to be your group name, if you will. So I'm just going to use the letter A. So we're just going to say this is the A group. I'm going to copy that A. I'm going to place it down in this image and in my last image. So these 3 images are now part of the group named A. And when I select any of them, I'm going to get next and previous buttons. So I'm going to save it, Command or Control S, F12 again. Here we are in the browser. I'm going to load up the first image. Now when I scroll over this side, you can see I get the next button. When I hover over the left side, nothing, because there's no image before this. So I can go next, and I get the next image. Now for this one, I can go to previous or next image. I'm going to go to next image in this case, and I get her. I only have previous at this point. So you can just click anywhere. And also, when you put your images into a group like that, you can navigate through them just using the arrow keys. Very cool. Another thing you may be interested to know is if I select the image here in the middle, you're going to see it's not going to act as if it's the first image. I still have my previous button, so I can go back to the image before it in the set. So whichever image you select does not automatically become the first image of your set. So very cool, and escape gets you right out of the gallery as well. So all kinds of cool little things you can do with Lightbox. Again, it is totally 100% free. Now, as I typically recommend to people, if you're going to use this for your website, go over there to the site, donate some money, throw some money their way. Putting out a great script like this, I mean, millions of people have had to have downloaded it. And for everybody that hasn't paid, just donating $1 or $2 definitely is a nice, kind gesture toward the developer for his or her hard work that they put into this script. So that's it. That is Lightbox 2. That's how you use it. I cannot even tell you how many times I've gotten requests for this particular tutorial, but I hope you have learned something. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully this will be a nice, cool, certainly professional looking gallery you can implement in your next website or maybe some past websites. That is Lightbox 2. I hope you've enjoyed it, and check out the site. That's www.tutvid.com for more great free video tutorials. Thank you very much for watching.